Hi, today we are starting our financial literacy section with going over simple interest. We'll also be covering compound interest and future value and present value equations as we get through this unit. So today we're focusing on simple interest. So we'll go over a couple equations and some variables. So simple interest, the formula for it is I is equal to PRT, where I is our interest earned in dollars. P is the principal, so how much we invest or borrow. R is our annual interest rate as a decimal. So if, for example, we had 5%, that would be changed to 0.05. So whenever we have a percentage, we divide by 100 to change it into an interest rate as a decimal. That essentially just shifts our decimal point over 2. T is our time in years that the money is invested or borrowed for. So first example, principal of 8,575 was invested for 2 years at 4.25% annual interest. We want to calculate our simple interest earned. So first thing I would do is, as we read through this, write out what information we have. So we have this principal. So we've got our principal is 8,575. Then we're given 2 years. So T is equal to 2 years. Our interest rate is 4.25%. So what we want to do is divide that by 100. So that gives us 0.0425. Now our I is equal to PRT. So we've got I is equal to 8,575 times our rate of 0.0425 times our time of 2 years. Now we'll calculate this. And then when we get to our final answer, we will round to 2 decimal places, because with money, we tend to use 2 decimal places because cents, so it goes down to 1/100th of a dollar. So that gives us $728.88. Next example, principal was invested for 6 months at 5% annual interest and earned $72.25 simple interest. We want to calculate our principal. So once again, I would probably start by writing out what information we have. So first thing it tells us is our time is 6 months. We want to convert that into years full. We know that there's 12 months in a year, so we'll divide that by 12, and that gives us 0.5 years. We're given a rate that is 5%. Once again, we'll divide that by 100, so that becomes 0.05. And we're told our simple interest earned. So we've got $72.25. So now we'll write out our formula. So I is equal to PRT. We'll substitute our values in. So we have 72.25 is equal to P times our interest rate of 0.05 times our time of 0.5 years. So we'll start simplifying this. So we've got 72.25 is equal to P times 0.05 times 0.5 gives us 0.025. And then we'll just divide both sides by 0.025 to get our P on its own. And what we find is that they invested $2,890. Okay, so we'll now look at another formula, amount of an investment or loan. So the total amount that we have after the investment is equal to how much we invested plus the interest earned. So A is our amount in dollars, P is our principal, I is our interest in dollars. Now this can be written as A is equal to P plus PRT because we know that essentially I is equal to PRT. So we're just substituting this in for our I value. And we can see we've got P in both those, so we can actually factor that out and utilize this equation here. So A is equal to P times 1 plus RT. So, for example, principal of 2,500 was invested for 200 days at 1.45% annual simple interest. We want to know what the amount of investment was. So once again, as we read through, write out information. So we're given a principal of $2,500. We are given a time of 200 days. We want to divide that by 365 to change that into years. Now, if money, we want to try to keep as many decimal places as possible. So we've got 0.547945. And then we're given an R of 1.45%. We're going to want to divide that by 100. So that gives us 0.0145. Now, on that previous page, I would use the formula A is equal to P times 1 plus RT. And we'll substitute in our information. So we have A is equal to 2,500 times 1 plus 0.0145 times 0.547945. So we'll go through and start simplifying these. So we need to follow BEDMAS. So I'll deal with this multiplication in these brackets first, then we'll add the 1, then we'll multiply by a 2,500. So we've got 2,500 times 1 plus 0.0145 times 0.547945 gives us 0.0079452055. We'll add those together. So we've got A is equal to 2,500 times 1.0079452055. And we end up with an amount in the end that is $2,519.87. Okay, so one more example. What principal must be invested now at 2.15% annual simple interest to have an amount of $236 in 3 years? So reading through this, first thing they give us is our rate. So our rate is 2.15%. We're going to want to divide that by 100. So that is 0.0215. They tell us our amount is going to be $236. And our time is 3 years. And we want to solve for principal. So once again, I'm going to use A is equal to P times 1 plus RT, and we'll start filling in our information. So we've got 236 is equal to P times 1 plus 0.0215 times 3. And we will start simplifying this and then rearrange. So we've got 236 is equal to our principal times 1 plus 0.0645. So we have 236 is equal to P times 1.0645. And we'll divide both sides by 1.0645. And that should give us that we need to invest $221.70.